Hola mi gente, welcome to the Money Chisme podcast, where we spill the real chisme on building wealth without the bullshit. Whether you're trying to invest, grow that side hustle, finally get your money right, or my favorite, buy rental properties, you're in the right place. I'm your host, Violeta, a first-gen Mexican immigrant, real estate investor, entrepreneur, and your financial hype woman. Get ready for tips, tricks, and expert advice straight from nuestra comunidad, porque el dinero es power and we're here to claim it. Don't forget, you can always find helpful resources down in the show notes and in descriptions, so make sure you check that out. Growing up as a first-gen Latina, I felt the pressure of needing to be perfect. I felt like I needed to prove myself that my parents' sacrifice was worth it. Hola, I'm Violeta, a first-gen Latina, real estate investor, and wealth builder. And I am here to teach other Latinas how to invest in real estate and get their money game up. Now, we put so much pressure on ourselves to have everything figured out. You have to be the first one to figure everything out. And we make a lot of mistakes and learn things the hard way because who was there to teach us? And so as we learn things, we need to have everything perfect, the perfect budget, the perfect credit score. We have to have that perfect house, that bougie car. Don't even get me started on the culture of comparing us to our prima, our cousin, be like, oh, your prima's over there, oh, she's studying this or she has this or whatever, right? So on top of that, we have the comparison. And so then we even have more pressure to be perfect. And so you see that all over social media, right? You see Latinas showing every perfect thing in their life, right? But la verdad is that nobody really has it together, not even me, right? We feel like we are so behind that we feel that need to catch up to our white counterparts because they are unfortunately ahead of us and we all know why. And so we have to try to bring our community forward. We doubt ourselves. We're like, why am I not there? What bad decision did I do? But let me tell you, all that is a lie because no financial journey is perfect. And now I'm going to get a little bit corny right now because the reason I'm making this video, this podcast, is because like it triggered my memory of wanting to make the perfect tortilla, right? And I went to my mom's house this past week and se me antojó unas flour tortillas, right? And my mom always likes my tortillas, so I went ahead and made them. And as I'm rolling them, they're looking like huaraches, right? They are all misshapen and everything like that. But as I was making this, I made that joke. I was like, you know what? I was like, just don't make fun of me, que me van a salir las tortillas like looking like huaraches, right? And I laughed at myself because I was like, you know what? I remember when I was younger and I was learning to make tortillas that I felt like I needed to make them perfectly round. They needed to be perfect. If it's not perfect, then it's not right. But now, me vale. Me vale if it looks like a huarache, if it looks like the freaking state of Texas where I'm from. Like, no me importa. The important thing is that they still taste good and I could still make me a bomb as quesadilla. Because even though las tortillas, they're all like weird shapes and everything, like that doesn't change the value at the end of how good that tortilla tastes. And as corny as my story is, right? I want to apply that mindset when it comes to your financial journey because, like, a lot of us still have that financial anxiety, that financial guilt. And I'm part of like some groups where we talk about finances and stuff. And I see that still in our community and the feeling of embarrassment that comes up when you need to share or you reflect on your financial journey because maybe you didn't make the best financial decision, right? Um, but you know what? You're going to have some bumps and bruises. Your journey's not gonna be, a straight path to wealth, to success. You're gonna have some winding roads. You might even burn yourself, te puedes quemar, flipping that tortilla. You might make some mistakes and everything like that, but at the end of that journey, the value is still there of you reaching financial stability, financial freedom, whatever your financial goals is, even if it's just like to pay all debt and all that. And let me tell you, we need to stop comparing our masa to everybody else's, because you know what, our kitchens are different. Right now I'm living in an RV and I have like barely any space to make tortillas. But at the end of the day, a tortilla is a freaking tortilla, right? Like I'm still gonna make a quesadilla here or in some bougie ass house. One of the things we also kind of talked about in one of the recent groups that I am in is that some of these people are just in debt. Like, the more money that you make, the more temptation that you have. Because, and let me tell you, kind of sidebar, is I dealt with this when I started making more money. Like, ya ni miraba the prices, right? I was like, like, I can afford this. Like, that's fine. And whatever. And eventually, it kind of like, me tenía que parar. I had to be like, you know what? I need to back up a little bit because I'm getting myself into um a little bit of debt, and I'm buying things that I really don't need. Like I bought me this fucking Mont Blanc pen that at that time, I wanted to splurge. I got a promotion. I graduated from college and I was like, you know what? It has like a little naval ship on there. I don't know if you could see it. This was an $800 pen. I can't believe till this day that I spent $800 on this pen. And you know what? I was too scared to freaking use it. I wanted to use it for like certain occasions, like when I was signing documents, the loan documents for the properties that I would buy. But guess what? They wanted me to use blue pens and I didn't have blue ink in this pen. And so I always had to use the notary's pen. And so I was like, I used this pen maybe a few times. And now I'm like, you know what? I need to use this pen. And the ink is dry now. So now I have to replace the ink cartridges. And so, yeah, just a little sidebar of how, social media makes it seem like we all got our shit together. Our financial journeys are perfect and everything. But again, don't compare yourselves. Like your obstacles are not my obstacles. Like, some people had to deal with maybe student loans. I got lucky with not having to deal with that. But you know what? I had to deal with being undocumented for so long. So I couldn't get a nice, a cushiony job until like way later in life. So I got a later start. I have had to learn to be okay with my financial journey because I just turned 39 and it feels like, oh my God, I'm running out of time, especially when you see those financial gurus. They're like, oh, I'm gonna retire by age 30 or whatever. And it's like, yeah, because you had someone to show you uh, since young, so that way you could start at 18 and you probably, had, financially savvy parents, whereas, most of us don't, and now I'm doing that for my kids. But here is basically the point of this podcast slash video is the mentality of wanting to do things perfect, because perfectionism is going to cost you. And I see it all the time. Um, as someone that is teaching others how to invest in real estate, they want to be perfect. They want to start off perfect. They want to make sure that everything is perfect, that they find the perfect deal, that everything is perfect before they get started. And then they don't get started. I've had several people that come up to me. It's like, hey, I heard you're a real estate investor, especially when I was in the military. They would find that out. They would come and talk to me. But they never took the step to actually go and invest in real estate because one, fear, right? Financial anxiety and all that. But two, they were waiting for the perfect time, the perfect, market right now with, high interest rates and stuff. But you know what? I just bought a property last year and I have I forget exactly, but it's above 7% interest rate. It is making me money, right? It's not as much as my first rental property that I got at 3.75, I believe, percent, but it's still income. It's still positive cash flow, like, and still good cash flow and building other things on top of that, like appreciation and equity. And I still see that when it comes to finances, they don't want to do certain things until they perfectly paid off this or that or whatever it may be. And they wait, 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 wait. And that is going to cost you. But also shame keeps us silent. It makes us suffer in silence. She felt shame even bringing up, but she let it slip in one of the as we were talking, she let it slip that they were in debt, right? And she felt shame. And I understand that because I have felt shame over my finances. And but she was suffering in silence. And our culture, we tend to kind of like, well, you got yourself in this mess, get yourself out, and it's nobody else's problem. Like, you figure it out. But we really need to have less shame because it's not going to get fixed that way. Because, matter of fact, at that point, our coach was, look, these are the resources I'm gonna get you. This is how I can help you. We're gonna do a one-on-one and we're gonna figure this shit out. And now she has a direction. She's gonna have the resources she needs and everything like that to actually fix the problem and get her on the right track. And so we need to stop with that and make sure that we are not judging people. So in the end, done is better than being perfect every single time. Take messy action. Like, you know what? When I bought my first rental property, my first real official rental property, I messed up. I didn't do my due diligence, and so when I ended up trying to actually, move out of the house and rent it out because I house hacked it, like, came to find out, like, the rental market was not going to be able to cover my mortgage because of my mentality. But guess what? Like, it still worked out in the end. It was a lesson that I learned, and there's still some lessons that I'm learning, especially with my most recent purchase. It was messy. That one was, let me tell you, that was a messy buy on my part and a little bit on the seller's part because I failed to understand what I needed to get from the seller because I was taking over the tenants and I didn't understand what all went into that. So there was a little, hiccup with that and a little having to call the seller and be like, hey, this and this is this, do you have this and whatever. So it was definitely messy. I'm tidying it up now. It's stabilizing now. I got one tenant. Once about the other original tenant is moving out, and then it's gonna be, my tenant on my terms and blah blah blah. So now it's gonna take it over, but I'm still making money. It's still gonna work out in the end. So messy action versus perfect action. And once you start getting on the right path, like, resist the urge to, like, rush. Because as I was saying earlier, that we feel this need to catch up with our counterparts, or just in general because we feel we started later in life, or because of our past financial mistakes. Now we feel like we need to overcompensate. That could also lead you down the wrong path where you either end up buying too many rental properties. And let me tell you, I have seen that where people have over leveraged. They put themselves into too much debt because they're trying to just buy everything because they feel that they need to catch up. Um, but resist that with all financial decisions. Like, don't feel the need to sprint, because everything takes time and you will get there. So just enjoy the journey. And that's one of the things that I had to figure out as well, to, slow down, take it easy. It's okay if things don't go as planned. I am a huge planner. It's one of the things I had to work with in therapy and still working on it. Because let me tell you, when I plan something and there's a wrench thrown in there, like I can spiral. And so definitely happened because I had my plan that I would buy one rental property each time. And then I felt the need that, oh man, I missed a year. I missed buying in 2023. Yeah. 2023, I didn't purchase a rental property. So then last year, I felt the need that I wanted to buy two to make up for it. But that would have put me in a financial bind and could have led to me making a bad deal, making buying a bad deal. So luckily, I kind of let myself just, chill out. And then now, similar issue. I felt the need that, oh my God, I haven't bought a property yet. So, but yeah, my journey, my real estate investing journey is not the beautiful and aesthetically pleasing as you see these big multi-millionaire real estate investors that have, like, oh, I have 200 million real estate portfolio or whatever, or I own 100 units or whatever. Like mine, with my three that I have, like, it has been a bumpy journey. Learned a lot of lessons, some of them the hard way, and just some because of stubbornness, and some because just lack of, due diligence, lack of education or whatever. But you know what? It's still getting me there. It's still working out. The end goal is still there. So just because my flour tortilla looks like a huarache and all misshapen and everything like that, it's still in the end good. And same thing with my real estate investing journey. Like it's still there and still has value, still going to build wealth. It's still, when I look back, in the moment you see things go wrong or whatever, it scares you and you're like, oh my God, I'm losing money this month and that last month. And then when I look back, I was like, actually, I am good. Like, what was I stressing about? In the long run, I still made a profit. It still was good. So if your financial journey looks funky, messy, all lopsided, it still matters. And your future self, when you're out there living your best life, financially free, with the wealth, the generational wealth that you have built, you're going to look back and laugh at the journey and you're going to be like, you know what? It was worth it. And I still got here in the end. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. And, how is your financial journey going? How is your real estate investing going? Let me know if there's any way that I can help. But other than that, I will see you in the next one. Hasta luego. Bye. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like and share this episode so others can also find this podcast. Don't forget to follow me on all my social medias listed in the show notes below, where you can also find resources to help you in your financial journey. If you're interested in becoming a guest on the podcast, you can find that information in the show notes. Other than that, thank you so much for your support, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.